مساء الخير ومرحبا بكم في جلسة جديدة من السفارة الأمريكية بالقاهرة على فيسبوك لايف. موضوع النهاردة تغيرات حديثة من منظومة السفارة للإبلاغ المواطنين الأمريكيين قبل السفر الدولي. أنا نائب الملحق الصحفي ماكس ستونمان، ومعنا اليوم نائب القنصل العام بن أوزلي نيزمان وزميلتي كارولين اللي تساعدنا إن شاء الله بطريقة. شكرا يا كارولين. Ben, welcome.
Thank you.
So our topic today are recent changes and improvements to our travel advisory system. Can you give us kind of an overview of what we're looking at?
So the Department of State has no higher responsibility than the protection of American citizens traveling overseas. And certainly here in Egypt, we enjoy having our American citizens come and learn about Egyptian culture and the history and to get to meet Egyptians. And so we want to make sure that when they do that, that they do it with as much information as possible and that it's as safe for them to travel and come here as possible. So in order to make that better always, we have improved our communication systems by providing information in a format that is more mobile friendly. We recognize that technology moves forward and that most people, especially when they're traveling, are getting information off of mobile platforms. So in December of last year, we updated our system to be much more mobile compatible so that pages load in a user-friendly way on mobile devices. And then just yesterday, we updated around the world our information so that it uses a tiered system that provides much more concise and universal language to describe what an American traveler might experience and what they should be aware of when they travel to a country.
احنا طبعا السفارة كانت بتدي نصايح وتحب ان المواطنين الامريكان ان هم يجوا ويزوروا مصر ويتعرفوا على الثقافة المصرية وياخدوا فالسفارة بتوفر لهم برضو يعني تحب ان هم يجوا في نفس الوقت يبقوا آمنين يعني ان هم مش يجوا ويواجهوا مخاطر. فاحنا دايما على موقع السفارة طورنا المعلومات على الامن في مصر والحاجات اللي ممكن يزوروها وبقت اسهل عن الاول ان هم يقدروا ان هم يخشوا من اي حتة في العالم ويشوفوا التغيرات في مصر والاماكن والنصايح اللي بتديها السفارة المواطنين ان هم يتخذوها قبل ما يجوا مصر علشان يبقوا مطمنين ان هم لما يجوا مصر هم مش هيواجهوا مشاكل او يبقى في اخطار او مخاطر عليهم.
Okay, so Ben, can you say what is the best way for Americans who want to travel to Egypt, who are perhaps living here long term? What's the best way for them to be up to date on the information the embassy puts out?
It's a really good question, and I think the answer in our modern age is there is no one single best way.
Okay.
We would encourage people to go to travel.state.gov, which is going to provide the most detailed and comprehensive information. You should download our app, the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program app, which will then give you alerts and information right there on your mobile device. And then you should also follow the different platforms that we offer. We have a Twitter feed, we have a Facebook feed, which probably many of the people that are seeing this are aware of that. And so we recognize that in this day and time, the way that people get information comes from a lot of different sources. And so we want to make sure that when we have information that people need, we can get that to them wherever they are and with whatever device or platform that they're using.
Okay.
احنا بنشجع برضو المواطنين بتوعنا ان يخشوا على الموقع بتاع الخارجية الامريكية اللي هو travel.state.gov وبيتابعوا كل الرسائل اللي احنا بنبعتها اللي بتكلمهم عن الاوضاع وايه الجديد وايه اللي يتبعوه وممكن ينزلوا اللي هو المسافر الذكي السمارت ترافلر وبيبقى على الموبايل فاوتوماتيك بيجي لهم المسجات بالتطورات اللي بتحصل والحاجات دي ويتخذوا ايه وياخدوا بالهم من ايه فده السفارة بتطوره وده الاوبشن الجديد اللي موجود.
And I think I'm sure we can make available after the chat we can put all of those links available in a comment so people can go and download the different informations and follow us and get the information in those ways. Of course, we also have the embassy webpage, which doesn't just have consular information, but it has information about cultural programs that we're involved with, the activities of the chargé, of other parts of the embassy, and that really explain our relationship with Egypt. So we don't want to focus just on the travel information that we provide, but on the whole breadth of the relationship. And so people can go and visit our U.S. Embassy webpage as well as an excellent way to get more information.
Absolutely.
وبرضه ممكن الناس تخش على موقع السفارة وتاخد معلومات مش بس عن السفر، عن القائم بأعمال السفير والحاجات القنصلية والخدمات اللي بتقدمها السفارة الأمريكية في مصر، مش بس تحذيرات من السفر أو وعي أو نصايح للسفر بس كده، لا، بتوري الناس خدماتها في القاهرة والخدمات اللي تقدر تقدمها والنشاطات والايفنتس اللي بتحصل وكل حاجه الناس تقدر تتابعها على موقع السفاره الرسمي.
وكل اللينكات هتكون موجوده في تعليقات لهذا الفيديو بعد حوارنا. واذا عندكم اي اسئله دلوقتي ممكن تكتب على فيسبوك على في مكان التعليقات دلوقتي. So Ben, what else should people be aware of right now with these improvements? What's some of the what are some of the more obvious and superficial changes, and then what are some of the different ways that this has been improved?
So the mechanism that we'll use in every country around the world is a travel advisory, and it's, as the name implies, it's advice about visiting a country. And so based on information that is publicly available, information that officers working at the embassy develop through their expertise and through their contacts with the host government, and then also through our other agencies, such as, for example, the Center for Disease Control, that they develop. We make that information available in this advisory so that people can make an informed decision as they get ready to travel. And the advisory describes the general situation in a country. So it gives the overview. But we all know that things can change very, very rapidly. So the second mechanism and means that we'll have to communicate with people are alerts. And again, as the name implies, this is to alert you of a change. And it could be of a permanent change that will later be reflected in an advisory, or it could be of a temporary change that will go away after some period of time. And maybe an easily understood example would be a natural disaster, a weather event. So if there was a weather event, such as an earthquake, that permanently changed the situation, we would initially notify you through an alert, and then the advisory over time would be modified and updated to include, here's the impact of that over time. So individuals, before they get ready to go on the trip, should visit the webpage, check out the other places to get the information, and see the advisory. Then while they're traveling, or if they're living in the country, if something changes that they need to know about right away, we'll be notifying them through the alert.
I see.
السفارة ليها تقنيات تستخدمها في اختار المواطنين عن مثلا القناصل بيحطوا خبراتهم في البلد المضيفة وعلاقاتهم لو في أخطار طبيعية أخطار طبيعية مثلا زي زلازل أو أي حاجة بنبعت النصيحة الناس بتخش المواطن بيخش على طول على الموقع يشوف لأن مثلا زي الزلازل ممكن تغير حاجات كتير هو بيخش ياخد المعلومة وبعد كده الاختار بتاع السفر بعد كده بيتغير بس هو بياخد المعلومة في الأول وعشان يقدر ان هو يتصرف ويحس ان هو آمن ان هو ما يفاجئش خطر حصل وان السفارة ما علمتش لا السفارة بتبعت رسائل على الموقع بتاعها الناس تخش على طول تلاقي الاختار او النصيحة انت المفروض تعمل ايه او ما تعملش ايه او تروح المكان الفلاني.
So and like you described earlier, if the alert comes out, the Department of State in Washington, the embassy here in Cairo, we would be using all of these different platforms
yes.
to give that information out. The website, social media, as well as for people signed up for the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program would be receiving it that way as well.
Right, and we have two different ways. You can elect to receive it by email. In addition to the social media, you can receive it by email, or you can even give us your information and we can send you an SMS to get that information. And the idea is that we get the information to you as quickly as possible so that you can adjust your activities to make yourself as safe and secure as possible.
Okay.
لما بيحصل أي حاجة، أي مخاطرة أو أي حاجة، الخارجية الأمريكية بتبقى معلمة بيها والسفارة فالسفارة بتاخد أكشن على طول، تتصرف لما توصل لها، وبعدين احنا بنبعت التحذيرات والتنبيهات دي عن طريقين، يا إما هم المواطنين بيسجلوا نفسهم مع السفارة، بيسيبوا البريد الإلكتروني أو التليفون المحمول بتاعهم، وبيجي لهم يا إما إيميل أو بريد إلكتروني بالتحذيرات، أو بيجي لهم عن طريق رسالة نصية على تليفونهم المحمول علشان يتخذوا الإجراءات اللازمة.
Okay, so the travel advisory is just the kind of permanent information about a country.
Yes.
A lot of good things to be found there, and then the alert is much more time constrained, so
yes.
for a particular amount of time. So can you go through kind of what people can expect going and reading through a travel advisory?
So our travel advisory, we use a 4-tier system, which we think will be much more clear and easy to understand for individuals. Level 1 is just exercise the normal care that you would anytime you're traveling away from home. Level 2 is exercise increased caution. Level 3 is that you need to be more cautious and consider deferring your travel and not going to that country. And then level 4, we really advise you against going and traveling to that country or a region of a country, because the U.S. government may not be able to help you, because our U.S. government personnel may not be able to travel to the place where you are. And so by giving those 4 tiers, people can calibrate what their own comfort level is with traveling to some place that may have a heightened security situation, or where they may receive a lower level of assistance from the U.S. government and embassy because we're just not able to get to them. So it gives people the choice and the chance to educate themselves and make their own decisions about whether this is a trip that is right for them with their own personal situation.
البرنامج بتاعنا بتاع اختار المسافر بيعتمد على 4 مراحل. المرحلة الأولى بيشرح لك الحالة في البلد، وبعد كده بيقول لك نسبة المخاطر قد ايه، او بيقول لك بعد كده البلد دي خطر ما ينفعش ان انت تزورها، لانه لو انت اتخذت القرار ورحت المكان ده بالرغم ان السفارة حذرت انه المكان ده غير امن، ممثل السفارة مش هيقدر ان هو يسافر ويجي لك في المكان اللي انت هتحس بيه في خطر، او انت في خطر. فعشان كده ده هيبقى سهل، البرنامج ده سهل وبسيط، ان انت قبل ما تسافر بيساعدك ان انت تتخذ قرارك، هل انت هتقدر ان انت تسافر ولا ان انت مش هتقدر تسافر، لتجنب اي نوع من المخاطر اللي ممكن المواطن ان هو يواجهها.
So all of these improvements are now live.
Yes.
And actually I went to the website just very recently and clicked through and saw that there's actually a nice map that you can,
sure.
With each country it's included, you can click through and find what you need. Can you talk about maybe some of the other improvements that have come about with this new announcement?
And a lot of it that we really spent a lot of time at the Department of State digging into what is it people need, what is it people expect, and what were some of the challenges. And we found that the terminology we used in the past confused people sometimes, and they didn't know. So by having these 2 mechanisms, advisory and alert, and eliminating some of the other terms that we use, that makes it a lot more specific. Then the page itself being color-coded. As you said, we built in some interactivity so that if you click on the map, then it expands and gives you more information. You can look at neighboring countries. You can travel to a different region virtually through the map. So again, trying to reflect the modern way that people get information. The format listing things in a list so that people can clearly see. And then we also indicate how it is and what it is that contributed to us making that decision. So we have little buttons that say, or little icons that say, for example, C if crime is a concern, U, if civil unrest is a concern, T, if terrorism is a concern, or O, which includes other, which obviously could imply a natural disaster or some situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
So by having those across the top, it gives people very quickly the means to understand, okay, what is it that they're concerned about there, and then make a decision, okay, that is, I can see where that's a concern, but I feel comfortable with making that trip, or based on that information, I'm going to defer and decide not to travel to a place. And again, we remind people that we can't anticipate every situation that might happen in a country, and when people travel overseas, they should do just general things like purchase travel insurance, let their family know where they're going to be, try to provide contact information, and as we've mentioned, but it really does make our job a lot easier, let us know you're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up for our app, send us your information, let us know where you're going to be staying, and then that way if something happens, we never know when there's going to be either a natural disaster, an unexpected protest, and so having that information allows us to be proactive in reaching out and helping people.
هو بيقول ان الخارجية الامريكية قعدت تبحث لانه دايما في صراع ما بين ان المواطن متوقع ان الخارجية تديله ايه وهو عاوز ايه، فابتدوا ان هما يعملوا ان هو اللي هو اختار، في فرق ما بين اختار او تحذير من السفر والنصيحة. فالموقع بيوفر في بعض في الموقع هتلاقي في اختلاف ما بين ده وما بين ده. المواطن بيخش بيدوس على الزرار ايه التحذير او ايه الاختار ليا، بيفتح له زي خريطة لجمهورية مصر العربية والبلاد اللي حواليها ببعض الالوان المختلفة اللي فيها دي تحذير ما تروحش ما تسافرش البلد اللي والبلد دي، او تقدر ان هي امان، تقدر ان انت تسافرها تتحرك من مصر على الحدود، او ما تقدرش ان انت تخرج برا الحدود. فالخريطة بتساعدك بيها بعض الحروف على بتبين لك الحرف بالخطر بتاعه وتقدر ان انت تتغلب عليه او مش هتقدر. فالمواطن بيبقى عامل حسابه ان هو يقدر يسافر او ما يقدرش يسافر، وعلى اساسه بيعمل القرار بتاعه.
So all of these improvements then are the result of, I guess, quite a bit of study and research and feedback then.
Yeah, it was a year-long program actually to really understand what it is that our citizens need, because it is our primary responsibility overseas is the safety of American citizens. But we want to provide information that empowers people to travel and experience the world, but to do so in a way that they understand what they're doing as they travel. And so we hope that this information will make people feel more confident as they begin on a trip, that they understand the situation that they're going to, and then if the worst case does happen, that we're best able to provide information to them and to reach out to them. And I think that that's reflected in the change that happened to Egypt's information. We were able to provide very precise information that says, look, our concern in Egypt is about terrorism. We're all aware of the tragic events that have happened in Egypt, that Egypt itself has suffered. And so we have to provide that information to our American citizens, even as we're working with Egypt to counter the terrorism. And so recognizing that and explaining to people, these are what you need, these are the things you need to be concerned about, gives a much more nuanced impression and understanding of the situation in a country. And so we want American citizens to travel to Egypt and to do so safely, to experience this wonderful culture and tradition and history that we know because we get to live here. And so by giving this information and providing information on how we reach those conclusions, we think that it will make the American public better able to travel safely and confidently.
احنا البرنامج اللي هو تطوير او اختار المسافر ده اخذ مننا تقريبا سنة علشان نقوم بتطويره، ان هو يبقى في كل المعلومات اللي تهم المواطن الامريكي قبل ما يجي مصر ويعمل رحلته، لان احنا اللي بيهمنا او اهتمامنا الاساسي امان المواطن وانه ما يواجهش اي مخاطر. فاحنا كان عندنا زمان كان الوضع في مصر ان كان في ارهاب، وما كنا دايما نختاره لا في ارهاب، بالرغم انه بس احنا كنا عايزين انه الناس تيجي وتعيش وتتعرف على الحضارة المصرية وتاريخها فاحنا اول ما جالنا ان موضوع الارهاب ابتدى يحارب ويقل شوية، فطورنا البرنامج بتاعنا علشان نشجع المواطن ان هو يجي ويزور مصر ويتعرف على تاريخها والحضارة والاماكن، زي ما الامريكان الموظفين بالسفارة عايشين في مصر ونفسهم المواطنين يجوا بالسعادة وياخدوا نفس التجربة بتاعتهم.
And so then travel advisories that give the big picture about a country, are they reviewed or updated? What happens to them?
Yeah, so all advisories will undergo an annual review process. So every country around the world will be reviewed. Countries that have a higher level advisory, a level 3 or 4 advisory, will be reviewed every 6 months. And so we are constantly taking in new information. And as we described, if it is something that is sort of emerging right now, we would alert the public through the alert system. And then at that point we could always update an advisory beforehand. But if there's not been a significant event, then we'll just look at the general trends, the general situation in a country, and then we'll update based on that. Tier 1 and 2 every 12 months, Tier 3 and 4 every 6 months.
So lower level countries like Egypt, then every 12 months would be a review.
Exactly.
بالنسبة لبرنامج اختار المواطن بيتم ان احنا نحدثه كل اول ما نعرف المعلومة بنحدثه، وده تقريبا بيبقى خلال كل 6 شهور علشان الاحداث اللي على طول بتحصل في مصر، لان مصر طبعا بيبقى فيها احداث على طول. فبعض البلاد مثلا ممكن كل 12 شهر، بس مصر من البلاد اللي هي لازم كل 6 شهور بنطور البرنامج ونحط عليه الأحداث الجديدة اللي بتحصل في البلد.
Well, excellent. Ben, do you want to give just kind of a final thought or summary of what we've been talking about today?
Well, we're very excited about what we've done. My colleagues back in the Department of State, I think, have really done themselves proud with the work that they've done in making information more accessible, more available to the American citizens traveling overseas. We hope that people will go and visit our websites and find the information useful, will connect with us on social media, will receive our information through the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, through STEP. And we know that this is an important part in the global world that we live in, is making it possible for people to get to know each other and to meet each other and to travel. And so we're very excited that this information will help to contribute to that. And so go and check out the site. And we're also open to the feedback. As we said, we undertook a year-long process to get to this point, and we'd love to have feedback on how we can continue to make it more useful to travelers from all around the world, and especially our American citizens.
بيقول ان هو متحمس جدا للشغل، هو وزمايله اللي كانوا هنا في السفارة وسافروا ورجعوا الخارجية كلهم متحمسين جدا للشغل اللي هم عملوه في مصر، وان هم اشتغلوا على البرنامج بتاع اختار المسافر، وقد ايه ان هو سهل ان المواطن يقدر ان هو يخش عليه في اي وقت وبكل سهولة جدا. وبيشجعكم ان انتوا كلكم تخشوا على موقع السفارة وتخشوا وتشوفوه، ويبقى ليكوا تعليقات، وتعليقاتكم دي على اساسها احنا هنشوف احنا ممكن نطور ازاي في البرنامج ده ونخليه اسهل واحسن بالنسبة لرأيكم.
بنازلي نيزمن، نائب القنصل العام في السفارة الأمريكية بالقاهرة، شكرا لك وشكرا لكارولين بحضوركم، وشكرا لكم من الانتباه والمشاهدة. ووصلت كثير من الأسئلة، ومع الأسف كان تركيز اليوم بس منظومتنا من السفارة لإبلاغ المواطنين الأمريكيين، بس هتكون فرصة جيدة إن شاء الله في المستقبل القريب في بعض المواضيع الأخرى كما التأشيرات والأسئلة الأخرى. شكرا لكم وإلى اللقاء.